Okay, so as you know, recently Norm and I kicked off yet another ultimate ride when we touched down in St. John's, Newfoundland. Last week, while exploring the Avalon Peninsula, we checked out Petty Harbor and Maddox Cove. Not only did this tiny fishing village of 900 have some great history going back some 400 years, but it also had some great food in the form of Chafe's Landing. All in all, it was a terrific example of what we call local flavor. And for this week, we pick up our journey as we find ourselves heading up Highway 1 to the Bonavista Peninsula in an effort to make a mid-morning coffee stop in the historic fishing village of Trinity. My goodness, significant heritage community does not even come close to describing this place. Merchants from the village of Poole, England, discovered this harbor back in the early 1700s. While one local told us that this area was first visited by a Portuguese explorer in 1501. It's a shame that Norm and I only discovered it on this trip, because man, it's picture perfect. Well, Norm, here we are, mid-morning, day 2, and we're in Trinity, and what a beautiful morning it's been as we explore this Bonavista Peninsula.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I was coming out of Clarenville this morning and taking 230A along the water, and the sun was still low, and just a beautiful, picturesque morning.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. Great road. You know, you mentioned Clarenville. That was our base camp last night, and then when we got onto 230, heading over towards essentially Bonavista, I was surprised. Like the next hour was it just felt like Northern Ontario, sort of Algonquin Park, if you're familiar with that area, with the rock outcrops and the water. It was just gorgeous.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing as we were riding through there. And actually, it's very similar to Northern Quebec as well. If you've been in any of those areas, you'd think you're at home in there.
Yeah, and great time of year to be here. Again, the pavement was fantastic and no cars. We basically had the highway to ourselves. And then, of course, we popped up here in Trinity, and this, I'm speechless. It's like a film set.
Definitely so. And then all the homes are very old, and they're already, very well kept. Like, you look around everything, and they're working around us now as we speak, just on keeping all this stuff very traditional and well maintained.
Yeah.
But obviously, for a reason, it looks like there's a lot of action that goes on in this town.
Yeah, and action's been going on here. That's the big surpriser for me. The English have been coming here for 500 years. It's amazing.
Yeah, it started with John Cabot. Well, he was actually an Italian, but he was sailing under an English flag. But he got here in 1497 or something like that. And then all the fishing started.
Right.
They'd come over for fishing, and as we saw yesterday, this part of the island was very strategic throughout all the wars that have taken place. The 7-Year War, the War of 1812. Just like the English seem to use this part of Newfoundland as a base camp for them. Yeah,
it's very cool, and certainly worth stopping in here. And I could see easily spending an hour and a half, 2 hours here just poking around. They've got the old, blacksmith shop and the mercantile and the postal station. But also, there's this theater back here, the Rising Tide Theater. That's pretty popular.
Yeah, so we found out last night that apparently there's a troupe out of St. John's that comes in here and spends the summer doing if you're familiar with the Stratford Fest, probably something like that, plays and musicals, and it looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, so we're going to poke around here, take some photographs, and then I guess the next destination on from here is we're going to continue heading east and then north to Bonavista.
Bonavista it is.
So far, another ultimate ride. We'll pick up our journey next week as Norm and I continue to explore Highway 230. Our next destination is the 1497 landing site of Venetian explorer John Cabot. That's right, beautiful Bonavista is just 20 clicks up the road.